welcome to Dolly Talk. This is Dolly. How is everybody doing? We have a interesting stream today. Right? So I was expecting today to stream at 1 o'clock for Hannah Gutierrez Reed's next trial. Yes, she's a naughty girl and took a pew-pew into a bar. And apparently that's a no-no in New Mexico. Who knew? Well, apparently she did because she was taking pictures of it with it in the bathroom. So when they seized her phone, went through her phone, rifled through it, found pictures of her in a bar. I think it was on October 4th. Very early October. Because Hannah is not known for making the best life choices. Believe it or not, I know it's shocking. I mean, a girl with the hair representing the Ukraine flag. So I was expecting to cover that. Really excited to see Carrie and what's his face? Bowles spurging out at each other. Unfortunately, Bowles decided to actually take a plea deal. I know. I could not believe it either. But so they're going to take a plea deal. So I'm going to, I guess, go ahead and read what the preemptive or the conditions are most likely to be. Now, there is still the other thing, the appeal. That is September 26th, I believe, at 9 a.m., where they're going to argue the motion. What the hell was it? Sorry, guys. Should have had that up. Motion for new trial or for dismissal for discovery violations and under the court's inherent power. Basically, Bowles likes to go ahead and wait for Alec Baldwin's attorneys to do the hard work and then just kind of cheats off them like he's a freshman in high school. So Donna Murph's Turf, how are you doing, everyone? Yun, half Irish Nivels. Yun, good to see ya. So let me see here. Sorry. Cats are making noise, very disconcerting. All right. Where is the tab? Defendant. Okay, my cats are making something loud noise. Hold on, I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. What are you guys doing? How did you open that cabinet? Can't wait till I'm done streaming. Really? Never gone in that cabinet before. Sorry, guys, my cats are. So what's this about? Can Alec go back to trial? Well, I'm going to get into that right after Hannah. Theoretically, yes. But, well, we'll go over the motion and why it's not a very good motion. So basically, Miss Gutierrez Reed is charged unlawfully. Do I have a highlighter? I did. No, apparently not. Okay, so she's charged with unlawful carrying of a firearm in a licensed liquor establishment by grand jury indictment filed on November 16th, 2023. Ms. Gutierrez has accepted a plea agreement. So she requests this court to schedule a plea hearing. Special prosecutor Carrie Morrissey does not oppose this request. So, plea. 1 count of unlawful carrying of a firearm in a licensed liquor establishment. The parties agree that the defendant shall receive a sentence of 18 months of supervised probation that may be transferred to Arizona subject to the requirements of the interstate compact pursuant to such and such. Yes. Yes. That means she's coming to my state. I'm not saying I got a chance, but I'm still gonna. Maybe I can at least get an interview. Yeah, she did not really care. All right, so basically agree defendant shall receive a deferred sentence pursuant to NMSA on the condition of successful completion of 18 months of supervised probation. If the defendant becomes incarcerated in the Department of Corrections due to a violation of her term of probation, she shall be subject to a 1-year term of parole. Defendant shall obey all laws and shall fully comply with rules, regulations, and probation as determined by adult probation and parole. Defendant shall not possess firearms or ammunition and shall not reside in a residence where firearms are present. All right. If you remember, she talked about on the jail calls about after she gets out, she's now a felon, what she would do, and like if she had to live with her father, where his guns would be, and basically skirting the rules. Defendant shall not consume alcohol or illegal drugs. Ooh, and shall be subject to a random urinalysis. Oof, poor Hannah. Complete any treatment or counseling program. Ooh, shall submit a DNA sample and pay $75 crime victims reparation commission fee. So it's not too bad. So we just have the appeal now for Hannah. Now let's get to Mr. Baldwin. So yeah, state's motion. Oh, Jesus Christ, my cats. Hey, hello, how you doing? What are you doing? Okay, okay, just, I'll clean it up later. Focus, Dolly, focus. All right, state's motion to reconsider dismissal with prejudice. Carrie T. Morrissey, who respectfully submits the motion to reconsider dismissal with prejudice, and in support thereof, state submits the following. So, yeah, Carrie basically is going to double down on the dumb fuck juice, and just this whole thing is just coping and seething. And, oh my God, Mads. Okay, so she is just... It's so bad. It's so bad. Okay, so the state asserts that there were insufficient facts to support the court's ruling and there was no violation of the defendant's due process rights. Oh, just what you wait. Specifically, the state asserts that while the state may have suppressed the ammunition from defendant Baldwin, the defendant was aware of the existence of the ammunition and the specific characteristics of the ammunition prior to trial. The ammunition is not favorable to the defendant and is not material to his defense. Oh, hey, GameStay, how are you doing? Okay, so yes, Carrie literally just said that. While the state may have suppressed that evidence from Baldwin, the defendant knew it was being suppressed anyways. So the defendant found out unknown to the state. So it doesn't matter because the defense already knew. That's like saying, I'm stealing from Walmart. The security guard is watching me on cameras and is going to intercept me as I leave the store. Well, Walmart knew I was stealing from them. They were watching me do it, so why are they upset? They could have stopped me anytime. Yes, it gets the levels of absurdity and cope are quite high. Moreover, the state requests the court order defense counsel to provide a description and all documents related to when and how they learned of the Teskey ammunition, so that the court may properly consider prejudice to the defendant, and a record for possible review by a higher court can be created. Hint, hint, hint. Someone's going to the appellate court. This whole thing feels like it's just a motion written for the appeals court. Okay, so, hey, Sky, how you doing? Coping. Well, she is really seething and upset that she lost this. So, facts of the case. We all know the facts of the case. Loaded live round into a real gun that was being used as a prop by actor Alec Baldwin, who, I don't know if you guys know this, was actually in The Hunt for the Red October. True story. Oh, God, this whole thing is just nuts. Okay, let's kind of get into... so these are blanks. And she's explaining all this stuff that's already on the record, so... all this stuff is on the record. It's like she's writing it for the appellate court, really. But again, there's no real case law in here. You get a really shitty picture showing dummy rounds visible in Baldwin's revolver. Then this is just like the basic facts, not too much argument yet. But Exhibit 1, and this was... I also have the exhibits. I can show this tab really quick. So 279 pages of exhibits. Yes. Oh, wow, Sky, thank you so much. Do you think the appeals court know that Alec Baldwin is in The Hunt for the Red October? Oh, I would hope so. I think he was at least in Beetlejuice. We should let them know that. Yeah, carrying her white whale. So, like, the first thing is, like, the Screen Actors Guild, man. Cats. I swear, they've been good all day. As good as they get. So basically, this is the rules and the safety crap. Nothing too special. Hey, Steph JK, how you doing? Hey, Game Stay. So let's get back to the 52-page dismissal, reconsider dismissal. The safety rules are simple. One, treat all firearms as if they are loaded / ready to use. I mean, not bad idea. Do not play with or engage in horseplay with any firearms. Never point a firearm at anyone unless you know you're trying to direct a scene or something, apparently, or your name is Alec Baldwin. Never place your finger on the trigger unless you are ready to pew pew. Keep your finger alongside the firearm and off the trigger. Okay. Mr. Baldwin declined to participate in the safety check with Miss Gutierrez out of fear that he might insult her. Yes. Okay. Yes, Alec Baldwin. Okay. Do you really think Alec Baldwin gives a shit about anybody else? I do not think he cares if he didn't even know her name on the body cam video. Oh, that girl. It maybe his senorita wife, who is or is not Spanish, we don't know. And look, it should have been dismissed. I'm just saying. He's not the nicest of people. Anyways, Miss Gutierrez failed by bringing live rounds onto the movie set and loading a live round into Mr. Baldwin's gun. Mr. Halls failed in many ways by not participating in an adequate safety check, ensuring that all rounds placed in the gun by Mr. Gutierrez were inert, and he falsely notified the cast and crew that the gun was cold, meaning it was inert and safe. Okay, so yeah, it just goes into more background, blah, blah, blah. So, and this is the ammo. .45 long Colt dummies. These boxes were dissimilar to the other boxes of dummy rounds provided by Seth Kenny, Seth the Sus, and his suppliers. Okay, so we're getting into the good stuff soon. Additional circumstantial evidence that Miss Gutierrez introduced the live rounds to the set of Rust is that Miss Gutierrez requested to shoot live ammunition out of the real prop guns on her previous film, The Old Way. That is true. All right, and good Lord, what are you using, a 1988 printer? Basically, this is where she asked Seth, can she shoot the set guns with real bullets? I mean, basically, yeah. Well, and a lot of money and lawyers. Basically, Hannah wants to shoot the real set guns, and Seth is like, no, do not. It always ends in tears. So Hannah was always kind of playing fast and loose with the rules. Okay. There is absolutely no evidence that the live ammunition was placed on the set of Rust by a saboteur or provided by Mr. Kenny or Miss Zachary, and that is complete horse. Done. I'm sorry, but Seth Kenny is, holy crap, is he sus? I was trying not to cuss. But I guess she's gone, so we can swear. Everyone in that entire investigation is pointing fingers at each other. Oh, well, look at him. He has this green ammo can, or, oh, well, Sarah was doing this, or Hannah should have been doing that, or check this, check that. Meanwhile, Seth is there doing the exact same thing, texting the lead detective, Hancock. There's like 200. What the hell? Sorry, guys. Um, I don't understand. Hello? Okay, I'm sorry. That was really weird. Sorry, the YouTube would just start playing in the background. I couldn't find the tab. Um, so Seth Kenny is there just texting Hancock the entire time for months. Yeah, I know, Hella. You may have deduced that early on. From day one, like the moment Seth got onto set, he's there trying to not only lead the investigation, give Hancock information, asking her to do things like ask Hannah what she had for breakfast, which is weird. All the while insulting Hannah constantly, calling her a dirtbag, Thel's dirtbag daughter. Um, there was a very hostile, much more hostile than we realized between Sarah and Hannah. I acquired the actual video of Troy Teskey's depot, and he talks about it a little bit. Maybe we'll play a few minutes today if we can finish early. Anyway, so I'm just gonna skip ahead. So the live rounds found on the set of Rust have numerous specific characteristics. All of the live rounds have Starline brass casings, silver primers, and identically shaped projectiles with a 6mm me plate. Ooh, I like that word, me plate. The me plate is the tip of the nose of the bullet / projectile. So, yeah, this. Okay, that's a shit picture. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I did some research. Um, so, oh wait, that's not the right one. Well, that's the side view of the live ones. But this now are the. Yes, Matt. So when Troy Teskey came, yeah, I know phrasing. Near the end of Hannah's trial, like day 8 or 9, to testify for Hannah, he had a bunch of ammo, the 45 long Colts that Hancock had been wanting to get her to get, but not really trying hard. Anyways, in this box of 45 long Colt, 3 of them, these are, you guessed it, the 45 long Colt Starline brass with silver silver primer. So these are the live ammo that was found on set. Now they act like what I find interesting, it is worth noting that Starline Brass only manufactures brass casings. Starline Brass does not manufacture actual ammunition. Well, yeah, these are all freaking reloads. It's all reloads. But yeah. So as far as the live one, but the fact that he has similar reloads at Troy Teskey's house, and it all started when they did their cowboy training camp a few months, I think August of 21. Troy Teskey and Thel Reed and Seth Kenny went and got like 345 long Colts from storage at Troy Teskey's house. You want it here? Come here, kitty. Story time. So they stop by Troy Teskey, get the ammo, and then wait, just chill out, Junior. They go do this training camp. Well, then Seth Kenny takes the remaining ammo and takes it back to his place, PDQ, which when the search warrant was served a month later, well, no, none of this ammo was there. Good kitty. But the fact that Seth Kenny had in his possession for a time the same ammo from this batch. He was also advising them on dummies, blanks, bullets, things like that, shaping their understanding of the investigation. Anyways. Okay. So yeah, this goes into what I was talking about. This is a semi-wad cutter bullet. You see the top part's kind of the bullet. Well, the whole thing's the bullet. But then that darker part near the bottom, that's where the shell is crimped onto it. So this whole thing, the whole reason they never... Is there a plan? Oh, I'm going to shave soon. I need to. I've just been really busy. So when Seth Kenny was leading the investigation, he was having Mr. Teskey search the ammo and see if they had any 45 long Colt with nickel silver primer, which he said he didn't. He sent this picture here of 4 different bullets. None of them matched the live on set. So Hancock and everyone just decided that the ammo that was there was not needed, really. Almost none. The judge won't reconsider it. I'm sure she'll deny it outright. Then Carrie will appeal it, but it's appeals are for losers, and I don't see any chance this goes back. I'm sure Alec's lawyers are going to have a field day writing the response, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to read their response to this. Because they got into it so many times at trial. Okay, so here, there is absolutely no evidence that the rounds dropped off by Mr. Teskey were ever in the possession of Seth Kenny or Sarah Zachary, and that is just not true. I'm sorry, but you don't know that because Seth Kenny had over a month to hide the ammo. There's no evidence that any of the rounds left the state of Arizona until brought to New Mexico by Mr. Teskey at the request of Mr. Bowles in March 2024. But they went to Texas for the cowboy training camp, and then Seth Kenny took them back to his place. Yes, Mads. In the end of Alec's trial, Carrie insisting putting all kind of stuff on the record. That must have been for this appeal. No, it was really weird the way she said that. And it felt like that was for an appeal, but she then after acted like she wasn't really going to appeal. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Um, so that's what the whole thing, and you remember the other prosecutor quit. Well, she just wanted to outright dismiss it. So I'm guessing their argument now was going to um, Carrie Morrissey is not one to give in or give up ever, wanted to appeal it. So then the other one left, she quit, smart woman. And Carrie decided to do that whole uh, I don't even know how to describe what she did at the end of day 3 of the Alec Baldwin trial. Um, use my request device, just trim it. Yeah, I'm not gonna, yeah, just leave it a little bit shorter. Um, so let's see where what. So yeah, Carrie Morrissey freaks out and she just wants to make a record. And why I don't know because it's not going to go anywhere. There is substantial evidence that Hannah Gutierrez was in possession of strikingly similar live rounds on the set of Rust from at least October 10th to October 21st, and again in November 2021. Again, if Seth Kenney had those rounds at the time, and remember, Sarah Zachary threw out some rounds. We don't know if they were dummies or not. It could have come from either place. Now, while none of this really goes necessarily to the evidence, or I'm sorry, it goes to exculpatory for Baldwin, it's really not up to the prosecutor to decide what to turn over or not to turn over. And then when they were in the middle of trial, they get all this new evidence. Then they make it really sus by hiding the new evidence under a different case number. Oh, hey, Cami Perez, how are you doing? Thanks for being here. Um, so, anyways, and again, we're on page 32 of 52. All of this is just a rehash of everything on the record already. There's nothing yet that really sets it apart. Anyway, okay, so we're getting into kind of some of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. So then she talks about the saboteur not being a real thing. Okay. Okay, this is the good part. On July 11th, the state called Marissa Popple to testify. On cross-examination, defense counsel questioned Miss Popple about a good Samaritan who was Hannah's father's best friend, Troy Teskey, who turned in ammo he stated was related to the Rust investigation. This is where she gets into this idiot theory. The defense was aware that Mr. Teskey not only turned in ammunition that he claimed was related to the Rust investigation, but they were aware that some of the rounds turned over had the same physical characteristics as the live rounds found on the set of Rust. The defense knew more than undersigned counsel, Carrie Morrissey, knew about the rounds turned in by Mr. Teskey. Yes, Carrie is saying that it should not have been dismissed because the defense already knew about it. Even though she didn't turn it in. They had to figure it out. How I don't know how they figured it out yet. My guess, they were pretty confident. So it wasn't just oh, there's a lot more ammo here of different kinds than we realized moment all of a sudden. So I'm guessing Mr. Teskey, who was trying to help Hannah by helping Alec Baldwin, probably told Shapiro and Baldwin's team, because ultimately it's going to potentially help Hannah. Yeah. That's what she's trying to say, but it the state still should have turned it over. And just because they found out the state was being sneaky, or not, no, maybe not intentionally, but it was sus. Yeah, it was an insane day. On redirect, undersigned counsel elicited testimony from Popple that the rounds turned in by Teskey were visibly dissimilar to the live rounds from the set of Rust. And I do believe that Carrie and Morris, or I'm sorry, Carrie and Popple at the time both believed that. And the defense was just setting the trap for them. So, and they were relying on the two photos of the live rounds provided by Teskey in November 2021 and again in January 2024. And Mr. Teskey's statement to Mr. Kenny in November 2021 that none of the rounds in his possession had silver primers and all had dissimilarly shaped projectiles. Well, at this point, you knew that Teskey and Kenny were no longer friends, and there was a falling out, and Teskey was teaming up with Hannah. So I would have thought you'd kind of take his information more with a grain of salt than you did. Again, the defense had more information about the rounds turned in by Mr. Teskey that undersigned counsel did not. Ms. Popple agreed on redirect that the live ammo or rounds dropped collected from Mr. Teskey looked dissimilar, and this testimony was incorrect as demonstrated by the exam of the three rounds in the courtroom on July 12, 2024. Popple made a mistake because she had not viewed the live rounds turned in by Teskey in several months, and there are thousands of rounds of ammo in this case. Human beings make mistakes. Oh, good. The I'm sorry defense. Sorry. We're sorry. Sorry. Yeah, okay. It does not mean that they are lying or they intentionally buried evidence as claimed by the defense. Miss Popple's mistaken testimony and undersigned counsel's ignorance of the specific characteristics of the rounds collected from Teskey do not make the rounds relevant or material to the case against Baldwin. Well, you don't get to make that determination, ma'am. That's not the way the case law works. This is a sus thing. You don't decide defense strategy for them. In fact, the state would have stipulated to a jury instruction that the jury should assume that if the law, wait. No one on the prosecution team, to include law enforcement, ever intentionally kept evidence from the defendant. It simply didn't occur to the prosecution that the rounds were relevant to the case against Baldwin, even if they were the same or similar to the live rounds found on the set of Rust. In fact, good sir, the state would have stipulated to a jury instruction that the jury should assume that if the live rounds turned in by Teskey had been tested by the FBI, that the testing would have determined that the powder was consistent with the live rounds from Rust. Well, that's great. That's wonderful, Carrie. I'm glad you would have done that now that you were caught, admitted to it all. Let's see. So late in the afternoon on July 11th, the defense notified the court and counsel that the defendant would be filing a motion to dismiss based on the Teskey rounds for the court's consideration the following day. Interesting. Okay. So they were planning for this the night before, end of day 2. The court initially asked the defendant to file the motion by 5, so the state would have the opportunity to prepare some kind of written or verbal response. Oh, hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good. What's with all the sparkles?
Sparkles?
Look, the sparkles on your head.
I don't know. This is your layout.
I didn't put the sparkles on it.
Oh, really?
No.
Have I been having a frou-frou thing?
I think have you been sticking your nose in the booger sugar?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, golly.
Golly.
Looky here.
Looky here.
I was wondering about that. I was like, it's very Christmassy.
I did not make it Christmassy or snowy.
I did not remember that.
Me. I made it rusty.
Yes, you did.
I did. So for those of us catching up, because I did originally send you yesterday on Twitter the news about the whole idea that Baldwin was being attacked again by Miss Curry because she cannot help herself.
No.
But then you went and found this document, yeah?
Yes.
Well done.
Yes.
I still think she should go after Kenny instead.
Oh, yeah.
That would be smarter because he's actually the one who's guilty.
Or at least look into him some.
That would be smart. But no, she has it in for Baldwin.
Yeah, well.
She's got a bit of a hard-on for...
His lawyers were mean.
It's not about the lawyers. It's about getting Baldwin because
But she likes his politics.
How can you like his politics?
Dear me. Why is this pink now? Okay.
Can you turn off the little lights that go off when we talk?
Yeah.
That would be good.
I will in a sec. True fact, Alec Baldwin had some very good attorneys. But I'm still wondering if the prosecutor held back evidence purposely or not. I really don't think it was on purpose. They got the ammo near the end of Hannah's trial, and I think they were all just scrambling and just weren't really thinking and put the wrong case number on.
Yeah. Honestly, that particular evidence was useless anyway. So it wasn't going to make any difference. So I think it was just stupid.
Yeah.
And like the detectives involved weren't the brightest.
No.
If you have a look into it, like they actually weren't very smart. They allowed this Seth Kenny person to completely distract them.
Yeah.
Allowed him to tell them where to search in his prop house. Like if you go back and have a look at some of Dali's previous videos, and you'll see that he just was like, "Hey, would you like to search this part now?"
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, let's do that.
Why not?
They weren't the brightest. So, no, I don't think this was purposeful, because if it were purposeful, you'd think that they'd hide something that was actually going to stop him being convicted, and this
Yeah.
wasn't going to stop him being convicted.
I don't think so, but
No.
still. They're from New York, aren't they? Baldwin's lawyers. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One is from local New Mexico. It was Heather LeBlanc. There's one from Texas, and the rest are very, very, very expensive, very high profile lawyers.
Yeah.
That are very good at what they do.
Yeah. Super annoying, but good at what they do.
Well, it's not that the previous defense refused them as well. Bowles was an idiot and never even really looked at it, and just told the guy to give it to the police.
And that's the thing, because the previous defense said it was irrelevant, they had the opportunity, and that was their decision to call it irrelevant. And that's why it's not Brady in that instance. Because it's the defense's decision to decide whether something's irrelevant. It's not the prosecution's decision to decide if it's irrelevant.
Okay. So, it is worth noting that the defendant was being represented by at least 9 attorneys, all of whom were present in New Mexico for the trial, and John Bash, who did not appear for the trial. Little old me was being outgunned by these high-profile New York lawyers. Little old me didn't have a chance against all these fancy lawyers.
To be fair, she was doing really well until that last day.
She really was, too. Oh, wow, she actually made that argument. The state was represented by 2 attorneys and did not have the human resources to respond to a motion to dismiss and prepare for the next day's witnesses in one evening. The fact that the motion was raised during trial was a tactical decision by the defense to take advantage of little old state's limited resources. Oh, dear. Wow, poor prosecutors. They just didn't have the resources. Boy, I'd love to see a defense attorney make that argument.
How weird is it? It's so different. It's like the tables have turned for once.
I mean, it's like all the arguments she probably wants to make as a defense attorney and never does, and then like, okay, I missed this part.
Usually the opposite way around, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like they know as defense lawyers they're outgunned. So what are you doing? Okay, so
you live in Santa Fe, Cami?
Yeah.
Interesting. Did you go to any of this? Oh, wow, that would have been so interesting.
Yeah. I only know Carrie Morrissey from the Dean Cummings trial. And I really liked her in that. And less than impressed.
That's the thing. Like we knew her prior. Like we knew her from the Dean Cummings trial. A lot of us watched that one, and we thought she was incredible because she was a defense attorney then.
Yeah.
And not just because of that, but she was so well regarded. Like she's the highest of the fraternity of
defense lawyers
and of just lawyers generally in New Mexico. And she's so well regarded that yes, the state poached her, I suppose, to be this special prosecutor on this case. So she's not usually a prosecutor at all.
Never, yeah.
Yeah. And so, when they went and got her for this, it was like, wow, you've really, really gone and picked the best.
Yeah.
Until that last day.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, hang on, I'm really disappointed in you.
Yeah.
You've really dropped the ball. You just watched it on TV. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, if I were there, and I mean, I'm on the other side of the world, but if I were there, I would have been like,
yeah, I know.
This is what I do.
The defense knew that some of the rounds turned in by Teskey were the same or similar to the live rounds from the set of Rust and laid in wait. Okay. Oh my God. Late.
Oh, what's going on with it? I can't hear you because the music's on.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that loud? It's like
No, you're breaking up. It's just like it does in StreamYard.
Seriously?
Yeah.
God damn it. Well, there goes my superior little...
Yeah, he's so superior. Does the exact same thing.
Damn it.
Mm.
Huh. The defense knew that some of the... and laid in wait to move to dismiss during trial when it had a tactical advantage. I mean, the audacity to try to gain a tactical advantage from one side. Did you put the little thingies back?
What little thingies?
The snowflakes?
I didn't do anything.
Why do I have snowflakes again?
They never left.
No, they did.
I am not touching anything on the settings at all. I don't know how they work.
Well, I do, kind of. All right.
Do I have to make the argument again to go back to StreamYard?
I'm thinking about it.
Jesus Christ.
The defense scheduled its third evidence viewing in this case for June 18th, that the defense suddenly canceled without explanation on June 17th. After CST Popple had prepared hundreds of items of evidence for viewing, she prepared and they canceled on her. On July 12th, undersigned counsel expressed her concern to the court that the defense was aware of the test rounds before the trial and likely learned of it from Miss Gutierrez's counsel. Perhaps this was the reason they canceled their scheduled evidence viewing. Suffer, Carrie, suffer. Defense counsel responded that he shouldn't have to disclose this information to the court, and if he was required to, it should be provided to the court in camera. Without addressing whether the information concerning how long the defense knew about the Teskey rounds and their similarity to the live rounds found on the set of Rush should be heard in camera, the court agreed that the significance of the defense having the rounds prior to trial was relevant to whether the defendant suffered prejudice. The court agreed to address the issue and never did. The court lied. Yeah. My dearest Morrissey, I tried to battle with Alec Baldwin's fancy New York lawyers, but was defeated at the Battle of the Bulge. Please, Morrissey, take up my sword and charge thy enemy and get revenge on my behalf. Oh, God.
That was great.
The state respectfully requests this court order the defendant to provide all information regarding when and how they learned of the Teskey rounds to the court and the state so that a full record can be made for the likely possibility of review a review by a higher court. Mom, defense was mean to me. The state is entitled to a full record for Apple 8 review.
Apple 8. Oh, sorry. Right. I got some really angry cats around here at the moment, or just one. Come here.
The court heard additional testimony from Popple related to the motion hearing. Oddly, the court attempted to require the state to call its witnesses and ask questions relevant to the motion hearing in the presence of the jury. Undersigned counsel explained to the court that it would not be appropriate to take testimony related to the motion in the presence of the jury. The court continued to insist that the state take testimony from Hancock and Seth Kenney in the presence of the jury. Ultimately, the court agreed to release the jury for the day. Well, that wasn't the judge at that point did not realize how bad how bad it was for the state, and just wanted to continue the trial and get this kind of information on the record and waste as little time as possible, because she already said this wasn't going past Friday. Ironically, it was just a different Friday that it had.
I know, right?
So
Poor
there
Sarah.
was no cover up, because there was nothing to cover up. Says
Look,
somebody covering up.
it's very sad.
Oh, poor Sarah.
He's like, I'm not the only cat in the house. that little bastard.
Contrary to the defendant's assertion in his motion, there is absolutely no evidence that Seth Kenney was ever in possession of live ammunition that had the same characteristics as the live ammunition from the set of Rust. Because you waited a month to serve a search warrant, Princess. You know, maybe that had something to do with it. And I'm pretty sure he knew. Yeah, he did know. Because he was there trying to find the ammo. He's playing Captain Detective there with Hancock. So he knew the kind of ammo to be looking for. Well, golly.
Golly.
Complain about the cost of trials, and you have this. Yes. Absolutely. However, as evidenced by his October 21st interview, Mr. Baldwin was aware that dummy rounds looked exactly like live rounds, and that it was possible live rounds could have been accidentally commingled by Miss Gutierrez in her dummy rounds. Ugh. There's no evidence that Kenney provided live rounds to the set or Rust, and the state never intended to bury anything. My God. The defendant's motion is full of rank speculation that the court cannot rely upon when dismissing a case with prejudice. The defendant's assertions that the evidence allegedly suppressed was exculpatory, and material must have some basis in fact. The defendant cited to State v. Davidson in support of its motion. And that's where they get into the differences of evidence and being exculpatory and what's necessary for charges.
But okay, this is going to get overruled, because it doesn't matter whether or not they meant to suppress it. They did.
Yeah.
So that's the whole rule of Brady.
Yeah.
That's what Brady is. It's not whether you meant to. It's not whether or not it was exculpatory or wasn't exculpatory. It's the fact that the defense didn't get it. It's the defense's decision whether or not it's exculpatory. They're the ones who are supposed to decide. That's it. And whether it's a mistake or not, it's still evidence. They should have had the evidence. That's it.
Yep.
Done. The judge made the correct call by the letter of the law.
Yeah.
Done. She's seething.
Oh, yeah.
Carrie, she's seething.
Yep. So she is at least citing some case law here after like 40 pages. But none of this, yeah.
Sorry, Matt. You would think it matters if the state acted in bad faith. I don't know. I think it looks worse.
But it looks worse, but
I don't think it does matter.
Even a simple whoopsie.
Because the judge stated very clearly that no, whether or not it's a mistake or not, the defense didn't get it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it does matter. I think she said that very clearly. So that's why she ruled that way. I think a different judge might rule a different way, but this is this judge.
Yeah.
And as long as it stays with this judge, then that's it.
Well, even if it goes, the decision is appealed, appeals court really don't like overruling or a judge's decision during trial. They give them pretty broad discretion on what they allow in or what they to do.
Yeah. I mean, it could be wrong.
Yeah.
Things have happened, but she was very clear. She made sure that she ticked everything off when she made her ruling.
Oh, yeah. And she made a good record, so. So, yeah, that's the motion.
The motion in the ocean.
Yes.
Hey, do we have any Twitter reaction to this, or has anyone done any responses to it?
Hold on one sec.
Oh.
What the hell?
I always like hearing all the seething.
Yes. Yes, Carrie is very butthurt. Yeah. Oh God, don't get me started on that.
Well, there's that. I mean, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. And I mean, if the trial had have gone on, question is whether or not that would have come in, because those were the interviews that they were arguing about.
Yeah.
They had just finished having a big argument outside of the jury about these interviews that he had with, was it Entertainment Tonight or ABC, the actual the news interviews, like with sorry, I don't know all of your news outlets over there, but he said flat out that he didn't actually pull the trigger, he didn't actually shoot. And I mean, that's BS. Of course he did.
Yeah.
That's been disproven. It's been disproven many times that particular firearm, it just can't physically go off without you pulling the trigger.
Yeah, unless it's like malfunctioned or modified in some way. But
16 different things would have to go wrong at once on that particular firearm for it to malfunction and go off. Right? 16 things. And I don't think that the Italian maker of the gun, like, he's there, and I don't think that he is going to allow 16 things to be testified to going wrong on his firearm. He made that firearm. I know it doesn't exist anymore, that particular firearm, but for those 16 things to all have gone wrong at once, he would testify in rebuttal if he had to, I'm sure. That could possibly happen. But I don't think that the defense would go down that line. That's why they really wanted to suppress those interviews. They really, really wanted to suppress those interviews. Fair enough too, because he made a dick of himself in those interviews. Very similar to like Sarah Boone right now, that I'm sure that lawyer who's just come in from the north is going to try super hard to suppress all the things that she has been saying. The interrogation, the body cam stuff, as much as possible of all the silly things that she has said. Guys, it just goes to show you, something happens, whether you're guilty or innocent, shut the hell up.
Yes.
Shut up.
Yes, that's usually a good idea.
Anything?
I'm sorry?
Can't find anything?
Oh no, not too many people have said anything yet.
Fair.
Yeah. So what do you have next?
Bring your trifolds, people.
Yes.
It's chili day.
Woohoo.
It's a chili day for quite a while.
How's he doing?
He's seething.
Aw.
He's
Poor
seething
fella.
because apparently YouTube's trying to kill his channel.
Oh.
Fancy that. So our favorite constitutional law scholar is doing up to his normal stuff. He's getting on YouTube and he's talking about how the cops are pigs and how we need to overturn Terry versus Ohio and all that kind of stuff. And he's showing lots of traffic stops and showing people how they should not talk to the cops, how they should just get out their trifolds and show people
Yes.
that, don't talk, just film the cops and just be as mean as you can to the cops and just show them your trifold, because your trifold's going to show them everything that everything the cops need to know about you. So be as much of an asshole as you can. But also, whilst he's addressing his live audience, his couple of hundred people who are there, because that's not enough.
No.
Because clearly he's been shadow banned.
Big vacuum.
Yes, by the big vacuum. He's telling them that, look at this. I usually get between 30,000 and 150,000 views per day or per video. But I'm only getting like 1,000 views per video. So what's going on? YouTube is against me. He's very mad. He's seething.
Well, you've barely
and it's
been
quite funny.
streaming.
I love it. I love it when he sees. So we're gonna watch that.
Nice.
Next.
Sounds good, guys.
Join me.
Tomorrow is Friday. I'll try and do another Wade stream because there's some updates with his fans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're pretty happy.
What about?
The donations are going very well.
Oh, good.
And they're working on the getting some files together, updating some links, and just they're ready to fight.
Are we gonna do more of the trial?
Probably, yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
I reckon let's keep going with the trial.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, guys. I had a lot of fun, and please like and subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you guys over at Hellas.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.